So last time what we did was turning our two apps, the backend and the frontend, into a single monorepo. And so now we have our two apps here in the apps folder, so the server and the web app. Now the problem that we had is with deploying on Versal. So if you look at it, let's go to Versal with Curated. And what we have right now is, oops, not with Curated, but just Curated, I think. Nope. Curated. Nope. Let's see. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, if we look at the build logs 2 days ago, what? Oh, but it did work. Okay, okay. No, I'm not sure. If we, let's check if it worked. I think we created web/pages/API/feed items, right? We created a, it's not gonna work, API feed items index. So we created a GET request here that was gonna send us back all the items. So let's check if this exists. If I go to withcurated.com/API/feed items, this should return a JSON object with all my feed. Yes. All right, so Versal does work, in fact. All right, that's awesome. The gradient, Airbnb engineering, here in review. And so these are some feed items, right? So if I go to withcurated.com/app/feeds, should have some, yes. These are the item indeed. All right, cool. So deploying works apparently. For some reason it didn't work, so I guess now we can jump onto our next task, which is this. Look, if I go to the database that is in production, you see this red label that says your database is read-only mode because I've exceeded the quota, and so I have too much data right now in my database. So what we are going to try to do is, all right, let's write it down. Well, actually, I've already written it down. So minifying the HTML, why not? But I guess it's the last step. The first step is going to check for pocket items that are deleted. So let's look at that. We go to the developer documentation, retrieve. There's an API that does this. And so because it is a no, I'm going to do it. All right, so there's a developer API, there's a retrieving API, where you can retrieve a user's list of items, and so you can search for a particular domain. So in our case, we can look for withcurated.com. And then what we can do is we're gonna get basically a list of items, right? We're gonna get a list of items with their item idea. And if we look at our schema, right, schema, and if we look at the issues, we have a pocket ID. So all we have to do is get back the list of items from the domain with curated.com, and then if there's an ID in the database that isn't in the response, then it means that this item has been deleted from the bucket list, and so I don't need to leave it in the database, so I can delete it. So let's try to do that. So the way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna have a cron job that's probably gonna run on a monthly basis for now. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna check for every single user the deleted items. So this goes in issues, it's gonna go in the API, so probably here and probably in the index. All right, and issues, and probably something like let's call it clean for now. All right, and what we are gonna do is first we're gonna need Prisma from utils db. So we're gonna have a handler like this. We're gonna export this handler, but because we're gonna do it outside of the context of a logged in user, we're just gonna return the handler without the with off helper function, higher order function, and we're gonna make sure that the method is post, right? It's gonna be a post request that comes from the cron job, and then I'm gonna make sure to return an error if it's something else than a post request. And then what I'm gonna have to do here is loop through all the users. So I'm gonna have to say const users equal await prisma dot user dot find many. Oops. All right, and then I'm gonna say for async let user of, I don't think I need this async actually. So for each users, I'm gonna do that. And then what I'm gonna have to do here is get all items, bucket items with domain with curated.com. So it's probably gonna be something like this slash, so what it is, all right? This is the URL. Boom, cool. And then we're gonna have some parameters, right? So it's gonna look like this, consumer key. So it's gonna look like process.env.bucket ID, I think. And the access token, the user's bucket access token. So if we look back in the Prisma schema and we look at user, model user, we have a bucket token. So we can say and access token equal user.pocket token. It's gonna be a get request, right? Is a single call that is incredibly versatile. All right, yeah, probably a get request. And I'm gonna add the parameter domain, right? So I'm gonna add domain equal with, probably something like this. All right. So what is it again? URL. No, it's encode URI component with curated.com. Is this particular domain? I don't know if I should just put with curated.com or https with curated.com, but let's try this, okay? And just gonna check that my consumer key is Phuket ID. So if I go to appsweb.env, I want to open it with let's open it with the notepad. Yeah, this is the Phuket ID. Cool. So, all right, so we're gonna get this, right? Const response, and then what we're gonna do is const all right, detail type. Oh, what is detail? Simple, return basic information about each item, including, all right, complete, return all data about each item, including tags. No, I don't want that. What's the default value? Detail type CVO, okay. All right, and then you get this, given URL, given title, favorite. Let's see, const items equal await response.json, and then next API request, and the next API response. Oh shit, request. Cool. So now that we have the const items, what I can do is just console.log these items for now. And what I'm gonna have to do as well is I think the best way to do that is here to say include, because I want to know what issues are in the user's database. So the way to do that is here to include issues in the user object. So I'm gonna say issues true. That way here, what I'm gonna have to do is compare items with user.issues, looking at the Phuket ID. Okay, let's try that. So the way I'm gonna start this is first Let's check our staging database and see if we have any user. Yes, we do, but I think we have no issues. Oh, we do actually. Okay, cool. That's awesome, but we don't have a bucket ID here. Never mind, I'm just gonna create one. No, yeah, I'm gonna create one actually. Let's say 002, even though it's not a real one. All right, cool. So we're gonna go to web. All right, cd app/web and run the server. All right, cool. And what we are gonna do is open localhost, API pages, issues, and clean. All right. Yes, because it's a post request. So let's make it a get request for now. Let me see. API. Oh no, we don't have pages. Sorry. Issues clean. Yes, that's the one. Okay. What do we have here? Invalid JSON response. Unexpected token U in JSON at position 4. All right. Let's see what is going on here. Console.log response. And then here I'm going to say return res.end. Yes. Cool. 401 unauthorized. Okay. Why do I have an unauthorized? Oh, what? It's a post request? It's weird. Required permissions. Oh. Has my app the retrieve permission? I don't know. I think it has. Yeah, add modify retrieve. But I think it's a post request, right? Optional parameters. Okay, so it's a post request. And this should... Okay. v3 get endpoint method URL. Okay. So these are not parameters, they are data, right? So you see host get pocket.com, and then this should be in the body. Right, let's try it like that. So I'm actually gonna be like this. Method post. Headers, content type, application, JSON, and then body is JSON.stringify of consumer key. It's going to be that. All right, and then access token is going to be user.vocab_token, and then domain is going to be with curated.com. And move this, and close that, boom, like that. Okay, let's try again. Cool, all right, now it works. So we have all the items. So I'm gonna remove this. Response, what do we have? I'm going to say if response dot status equal to 100. Do that. Here we have a status text. Do we have a status text for this one? Yep. Else. No, I'm going to say something like this. And here I'm going to say throw error. Return fast dot status response dot status and dot send response dot status text. Cool. Otherwise I get the items, and then the items are here, so I can do this, right? Oh no. List. What I want is the list. Status 1. Why do I have status 1? If the item is archived, to if the item should be deleted. Alright. So I have a bunch of IDs. And then what I can do is what I want is the list here, right? So I'm gonna say list, and then so I'm gonna say list. And in the list, what we have is, what is that? This is the ID, right? All right, so the list is it's a list of bucket item, and bucket item has these, let's say interface bucket item. So it has item ID, it's gonna be a string, it's a number really, resolved ID, given URL, right? Given, I don't really care about all of that. All I need to know is that it has an item ID of type string. So let's remove this. Let's make it simple for now. So looking through, getting this. Now I need to compare the items. So what I want to do is get the items in the database that are not in list, okay? I think what I can do is object, okay, I know. So I'm gonna say user.issues.forEach, right? So I'm gonna say item, and I am gonna say item object.keys of list, right? Dot includes item.bucket ID. So if no bucket ID, item.bucket ID, continue or return item doesn't have, item doesn't have a bucket ID, it should be deleted. Otherwise, I'm checking if the item pocket ID, so I'm going to say if not in the list to do, delete the item. All right. For now, I'm going to say console.log item. All right. Let's do this. Okay, no, I can't. All right. Yeah, I knew it. All right, so I have my list here with the item ID, the link, the title, favorite, status, whatever. Excerpt is article, has image. That's cool. And so after that, what I have is some items. ID1, UID1, building a business that lets me live on a beach. And what we can see here is that we have the item that is not in the list, and item 2 is not in the list as well. It's create a viral thank you page to boost word of mouth growth. And in fact, if we look at that, right, let's look at that in get bucket. Let's search for it. All right, but the item here is 3502266910, right? And here, the bucket ID is a fake one, right? All right, cool. So what I'm gonna do now is delete these items. And then we'll see how we can refactor this afterwards, but yeah, let's delete the item. So what we're gonna do is prisma dot issue dot delete where bucket where ID item dot ID. I think we have the ID, right? Yes, we do. Cool. All right. So this is if there's no bucket ID, and actually what I can do is this. All right, and then I can do that. That's even better. All right, cool. Compare with these. And I'm gonna remove this. And that's pretty much it. So for let user of users, so for every user in the database, what I'm doing is first getting the issues in the database from withcurated.com. Next, if the response is bad, I'm just returning this. Otherwise, we getting the list from the response. Yeah, let's keep it this way. And then what I do is that I say for every issue from the user, actually it might be cleaner. I'm gonna say true. No, this is not the way to do that. Include, take, maybe. ID, no. Include, yes. ID. Can't do that. Let me see. Prisma include. Let's see how we can be more explicit about what we want to include. include author true, post, include deeply nested relations. Yes, this is what I want to do. Include posts. All right, so I'm going to say include issues. And then for issues, I want to say include like that, right? What is that? Oh, okay. So I can put ID, but bucket ID true. Okay, I can't do that. Why? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, find unique, select, name true, posts. Maybe what I need to say is select, right? And then here I say ID true. Okay, nice. I want bucket ID true, and what else do I need? I just need the ID and the bucket ID, right? And this way it's gonna be way faster. Is that true? I'm using the item ID and the bucket ID. Cool. And same thing for users, right? So I'm gonna do that. For users, I'm gonna say select. Boom. Issues. Select. Okay, I can say this actually. It's way better. Alright, what's the problem here? Okay, it's probably because of that. Cool. Alright, so I want issues and select. Oops. So I said issues, I'm going to say bucket token true. And that's it. And this should be faster than before. This should be faster. I'm not going to delete them right now. I'm going to say console.log item. Is there another way? Okay, cool. This should be enough. Let's see how fast it is this time. Yeah, way faster. Cool, it works. Now I can say that. Boom. Oops. Save this. Cool. So let's commit this, right? I'm gonna say feat clean database from deleted bucket items. Boom. Great. Now the other thing we want to do is clean the feeds that have no let's look at it. It's not clear right now. So what we have is a list of feeds, right? That's cool. But the problem is that we have some feed items. So if there's a feed that doesn't have any subscribers, we're gonna keep adding on items from this feed even though no one is subscribing to that feed. So for example here, Ali Abdal, I'm not subscribing to this feed anymore, yet I'm keeping adding more and more items here, which is probably not ideal. So I want to delete all of them. And the second problem is that, nope, that's, yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of feed item actions as well of users that are not reading some of the items. But we'll look at it later. So first, I want to remove the feeds that have no subscribers and then remove its feed items. All right, so let's do just that. For this, we're gonna go into the API and under feeds, and same way, we're gonna create a new one and say Prisma from utils Prisma DB, sorry, and next API request and next API response. Const handler again. One thing I forgot is in the clean here, I want to, so I'm gonna do change that. And the other thing I need to fix is authenticate the request with basic authentication token. So basically what I'm gonna have here is headers and authorization, and I'm gonna get the code from somewhere else. Let me see, Twitter, yeah, here, right, like that. So basically I'm checking the authorization. If there's no authorization or it's different than the auth header, then I'm just gonna return 401. Cool. All right, and I'm gonna actually take the same template as I have here, and what I'm gonna do is, all right, start with a get request. Remove this part for now. Start with a get request. I'm not gonna need this. So what I'm gonna do is, all right, first I want to get all the feeds. All the feeds with no subscribers. Then I want to remove every feed item from this feed, and then remove the feed from the database. Okay, so let's do that. Feeds equal await prisma dot feed dot find many, where, okay, again, we're not gonna select everything. So let's check our Prisma schema for feed. What we are looking at is the subscribers, right? So what we're gonna do is where subscribers is empty, right? So how can we check that? Let's see. Prisma empty array, empty relation. All right, something like this should work. So you just say subscribers and then say none, like that. All right, cool. This should work. So I get the feeds that have no subscribers. Then what I do is that I say prisma.feed item dot delete many where, and again, here I'm only selecting the ID, right? Where feed ID is equal to, all right, so I'm gonna say feeds dot for each, right? Feed, I'm gonna do that, right? And it's gonna be an async function. Okay, so I'm gonna say await here. Where feed ID is feed.id, okay? I'm deleting all of these items, and then here I'm gonna say feed dot, no, can I say delete? No, I'm gonna have to say await prisma dot feed dot delete where id feed dot id, right? Cool. Yeah, I can't delete it directly. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So what I'm gonna do first is console.log these feeds, and then instead of deleting all of these, I'm gonna say, oh yeah, actually, can I feeds? Okay, oops, sorry for that. I want to know if I can, maybe we can delete the, let me see, the feed with its feed items directly, right? So let's see that, right? And can we say include or something? Prisma delete nested. Cascading deletes, yes. Cascading deletes allow you to define how foreign key relationships should be handled when you delete a record. For example, when you delete a user, you might use a cascading delete to remove that user's extended profile from a related database. Yeah. What? This guides. The guides in this section. Okay. So let's say on MySQL. What is that? I'm afraid it's gonna be more complicated than that. Right, almost the last post, almost the last user. You have a relation here. Cool, almost the last post. Another post. Another user. And then post. And user. Okay. What it says is user with post. Create data name Alice post create, so you can create the post inside, you create both the user and the post, right? And then you can delete everything. All right, maybe. Oh, the script will throw an error when invoking Prisma user delete. Yep. Because you know what, let's do it the easy way. So here I'm going to say console.log, and here I'm going to say select ID true, and select as well feed items true, and feed item actions, right, true, and I'm gonna delete all of that. Okay, so for each feed, can I say feed item actions dot destroy delete? No, can't do that. And can we do wait prisma dot feed item action dot delete many, where let's say ID in this, and so the select is going to be more complicated than that. ID true, something like that. Okay, and so here in so feed item dot actions, okay, so this is a list, feed item actions, it's a list of ID. I just want the values. So the way I could do it is dot map e and then say e dot ID. Or I could say, yeah, I guess it's the easiest way, and then feed item dot delete many, where ID in feed dot feed items dot map e dot ID, right, something like that. All right, this is probably the easiest way to do it, and I believe it's gonna work. So I think it's 201, right? If you say HTTP status code deleted. Okay, yeah, let's just do 200. Cool, and then we need to authorize that. Cool, same thing here. And then don't forget to set it to post. And we are good. So now we can clean the feeds as well. So let's look at that. This is add, remove feeds with no subscribers. All right, and then plus here I'm gonna say fix authenticate clean request. All right, I'm gonna say sync changes. We'll see if it works. All right, cool. So now we are cleaning the database.